Hello, viewers. Yes, you are welcome to today's live session. So, I've got some information to share with you guys, and we are going to be starting with what I have there on the screen. In case you don't know, Nigeria will be receiving another Abacha loot being sent back to the country. And you know what? The person that is meant to receive this loot is the same person that helped Abacha during his days. And that has sent, a mixed reaction out there. Nigerians are like, my God, what kind of country are we living in? We have people that pulled weight during the days of Abacha, people that aided Abacha in all that he did. They are still in power today, as in they are still the ones determining the kind of life we live in Nigeria, despite the kind of past they had. They are still the one, a kind of controlling Nigeria, controlling the resources, manipulating everything in Nigeria. So when France made this announcement that they are going to be sending Abacha loot back to Nigeria, there was this a kind of joy out there. Nigerians were happy, that we are going to be receiving this money. Don't forget that during Buhari's period, we received Abacha's loot, as in different times. On so many occasions, we were told that this amount was, given to Nigeria, this amount was given to Nigeria, and up to today, nobody accounted for those money that were sent back to Nigeria. And now again, in this current administration that has just begun, we are being told that France has decided to send back some millions of dollars back to Nigeria. I mean, the money that Abacha stole during his days. Guess what? The person who is going to help in receiving this money from France is the same person who aided Abacha, who helped Abacha. Allegedly, because that is the information out there that this person played a very serious role. This is the man here. You can see from the image I have on my screen, it says that Abacha's story becomes more real to a reader when you realize that the man who helped Abacha to funnel all the loot is well and alive. His name is Atiku Bagudu, the current Minister of Budget and Planning in Nigeria. Nigeria is a crime scene in progress. So you can imagine that these people that ruled and reigned during the days of Abacha, they are still the one controlling the economy of Nigeria. You can see the position that he has. He's the one, the Minister of Budget and Planning. He's the one that decides and say, this is what we want to do, and this is how we want to do it. This is the kind of system we have found ourselves. So Aisha Yusufu reacted to this, and I want you to just listen to a video that she made, and we'll come back to this because honestly, Nigeria, we just need God to save us. These people, they don't mean well for Nigeria. If Nigeria was to be a sane country, a sane society, I tell you, people like this won't still find themselves in places of power. You can imagine the kind of position this man is holding. He is the current Minister of Budget and Planning. One might ask, how come President Tinubu gave him such a position? Is he there to fulfill his particular obligation? Is he there on a mission? Why is it that somebody, these are people that are supposed to be in jail, they are still the one pivoting the affairs of Nigeria? And instead of them suffering for their sin, they are rather being promoted. That's the kind of society we have seen ourselves in. Just take a look at this video.
A tweet that someone did that for me, it really, really touched something, and I want to talk about it. First of all, there's this NTA news, NTA X handle, at NTA News Now says Tinubu meets French presidential envoy as Nigeria prepares for return of $150 million Abacha loot. So they put it there. And then this person said, he said, alternative headline to what they had talked about. He said, government that includes a minister who played a key role in helping Abacha loot prepares for the return of Abacha loot. There's this former governor of Kebbi State, Bagudu, that has been reportedly alleged to have helped Abacha in stealing all the money, in looting all the money, as in he was his henchman that was used to loot most of the monies that were taken abroad. And then this particular person, he's Buhari, no, what is he? I think something about defense. I don't even know most of the, whether it's defense minister. No, is it the one that is defense minister? No, minister of budget and planning or something like that. For me, this is an illegitimate government, so I really don't even focus on any of them or whatever portfolio that they're sharing amongst themselves and all of that. But so the person who helped Abacha to loot money, that has been, alleged to have helped Abacha to loot money, to hide the money and everything, is within this legitimate government that is set to receive the money from there. That just tells you what Nigeria is all about, right? And that tells you what we need to fight. And that tells you that me, my own, is that giving up is not an option. Otherwise, they've enslaved us, eh? Their children will end up enslaving our children, and God forbid we allow that to happen. I would rather do the fight so that my children won't have to do any fight.
Yes, you can see the kind of society we are building today. These are people that are supposed to be suffering for some of the things they've done against Nigeria. These are the people setting Nigeria back. These are the people destroying Nigeria. But you can see that they are being compensated for one role or the other that they played during the election. And you can see the kind of portfolio he's handling for this administration. Now, the sitting president has now appointed him to be the one to receive the loan. Nigerians are even like saying, is this really a loan? Or is there any transaction going on? You know, Nigerians, they can talk. They like to air their mind as it is in their hearts. They will bring it out. They are like saying that, could this really be a loan? As in not a loan, sorry, them a loot that is being returned to the country, or is it that something is fishing? How is it that it's this same man that aided this looting that is still going to be the one to receive this loot when it arrives in Nigeria? So, guys, honestly, I keep saying that one of the biggest problem we have with the APC is their lack of transparency. They are so, opaque. They cannot come out clean. They can't just tell Nigerians. And I listened to an economist speaking. He said why the economy is even like in this bad shape is because people are not really clear. The information out there are not even enough for people to like make some analysis. They give you a section of what they want you to know. The other section that they don't want you to know, they will hide it from the public. They will hide it from people that need all these figures, to do some postulation and all that. So you can imagine they will want to tell you this in the morning, in the afternoon, they will come out again to still say something else. I want to tell you guys that we know for some days now, they've been this outreach about the president buying yachts and all that. People are like saying that, why will he buy yachts when Nigerians are hungry, Nigerians are suffering? There will be this outreach, and at the end of the day, we were told that they've removed that 5 billion that was meant for the yachts. They've added it to student loan. And people were like, how could they just do that overnight? Is that how you just take from here and put it here? How did that happen? And do you know what? The Navy has come out to even say that that yacht has been procured They are just waiting for money for them to make the payment, as in it's awaiting delivery. It's not as if they are just like deliberating whether to buy or not. No, they said the arrangement has been made, everything is said, it is just waiting for it to be delivered. But we all saw how they told us that they are like taking it off the list, changing it with moving the money to student loan so that Nigerians will have enough to access. So honestly, I'm just trying to get a slide that I want you guys to see, because this thing is like sounding different to Nigerians. APC, they will tell you this in the morning, they will tell you something else in the evening. It says, 5 billion naira, your Navy confirms delivery, faces payment crisis over National Assembly opposition. So it's just waiting for it to be delivered. So it's not as if it's a new topic. Some people have come out to argue that, oh, this thing has been procured during the time of Buhari. So it's not even now that they talked about it, but Nigerians never knew about it. So how come they just went and procured something without it going through the National Assembly? It is coming to the National Assembly for the first time. And you can see the Navy saying that it is just waiting for it to be delivered. The only issue they have now is the money to be used for the payment. That is the challenge they are having at the moment. So this Mr. Ndume was, I think, on Arise Television, and his own thoughts was just different from what the Navy was saying. Presidential yacht delivered before public outcry. He is even saying that it has been delivered, while the Navy man is saying that it is yet to be delivered. The only struggle they are having now is access to fund, the money to make the payments. That is what, oh my God. So Nigerians, if we live in a society like this, how do we even expect Nigeria to move forward? You have leaders that tell you one thing in the morning and tell you something else in the evening. It doesn't even bother them. They don't care. So Shore posted, he was even the one that posted this, that made this tweet. And he was saying that these president scammers won't rest, thinking most Nigerians are foolish. The story has changed so many times about the yacht gate that even that the scammers can't cope with their lives. Yes, they can't cope, because this person will come out to tell you that they've removed the money, meaning that they are not going to be purchasing it. The next person will come out to tell you that, everything has been set to this just for them to deliver it. We are waiting for funds to make the payment. And this man now has come out again to tell you that it has already been delivered. I mean, Mr. Ndu. So there is a lot of conflict in what they come out to tell Nigerians. But the bottom line of this is that we don't need this yacht. We don't. America, which we know is like the largest economy, is not even having one, but Nigeria wants to buy one, despite having, many of its population in poverty. People are hungry, people are suffering. They told us that it is renewed hope, but you can see the kind of hope they are renewing for the Nigerian people. People can no longer cope with all this kind of lies, coming from this government, coming from the people working with this government. They are just after their own. So I came across this image, and I thought it would be nice to share it with you guys. You can see our honorables. They said, honorable, we are definitely stuck. This person said, don't worry, the people are pushing. You can see Nigerians down here. They are the ones feeling the bite that is coming from this hard economy, the hard times Nigeria is going through. Nigerians are the ones suffering it. People are in the hospital, they can't even afford their hospital bills. We are not even talking about eating. People can't go home. They can't leave the hospital because they've not been able to pay their hospital bills. And instead of these are honorables to invest in healthcare, take their time. We know when Buhari came in, Buhari made a lot of promises. Promises he never delivered one quarter of it. He told us how they were going to do this and do that. At the end of the day, look at the roads they worked on. They were telling us that Buhari came first in infrastructure. But today, the same people that worked with Buhari are coming out to tell Nigerians that the roads are so bad. And this is one of the reasons why they are insisting on buying foreign made cars, not Nigerian made cars, because Nigerian made cars can't cope with the kind of roads that we have in Nigeria. These are the people in power. So they just like imprison Nigerians. That's just the language I think might really a kind of give the kind of expression that I really want you guys to get from what I'm saying. They are the ones telling us that they've done their best when they were campaigning. This current president said he's going to continue from where Buhari stopped. Today, they are telling us that they don't even have a road, or the roads in Nigeria are bad. So they would need a kind of sophisticated vehicles that will be able to go through this road, come back without being damaged. We saw the lawmaker that was on Channels Television being interviewed, asked on several notes, why don't you consider locally made cars? This man said, no, locally made cars cannot help us, because by the time I go to my constituency and come back, these cars are gone. You will need to repair them. You will need to spend a lot of money to repair them or to kind of maintain them. These are the people that have born. Some of them were there in the House of Representatives. Today, they've moved over to the Senate. Like Mr. Ndume, the man I showed you guys before now. I think he has been there since 2003. I listened to him during an interview. He said he has been, I think he came through the National Assembly since 2003, Nigerians. He has been there, and they don't give space for the younger generation. These people, they will come in, they will occupy the space. They will not want to serve one term and step down and say, okay, my younger person, this person that just graduated and has worked at least for some years, has got some experience, come and vie for this position and see if you get it. They will just come in, and possibly he might still want to contest by next round of election again. Meaning the House of Assembly, the Senate, the House of Representatives has now become their permanent office. Nigerians, you can see it. It has become, even himself, he came out to defend these foreign-made cars that they want to buy with millions of naira. He's defending it that they need it. They need it without considering the plight of the people, without considering what Nigerians are going through. So I'll be sharing with you a video of Mr. Peter Obi, because he was in Edo State recently, and he made some vital, as in, you know, each time he speaks, his speeches come with a lot of information. Like Dr. Te was saying, that those that say Peter Obi should come and work with this government, Peter Obi will always give his advice while speaking. He does not hide his own idea. If you feel you can implement it, go and listen to what most of his speeches and learn from the things he's saying. Try to implement it. We saw how Peter Obi sang the song of moving Nigeria from consumption, to production. It was like a song during the campaign. Each time he's speaking, he kept referencing to that Nigeria should be moved from where it is today. Being a consuming nation, everything is being imported. We should rather start exporting. We should produce and be able to feed ourselves and feed other countries. And up to today, this current government is not even looking at going with some of these things that Peter Obi made there, and many Nigeria bought that idea. But they are not thinking of how do we start producing. They are up to 6 months now in office. Nothing is happening. We are still debating on whether to give the first lady some billions to acquire her own fleet, whether to buy a yacht, whether the presidential jet should be doubled, whether to renovate the president's home in Abuja, or and all that. Nigerians, this is still what is making headline, and the ordinary masses are suffering. When I mean suffering, Nigerians are really suffering. People are going through a lot, in case you don't know. Nigerians are going through a lot. And I'm just wondering, is it that these people, they tend not to understand, or they tend not to see what people are going through? Is it what, does it mean they are never sensitive to the plight of the Nigerian people? Is that the stage we have got to? They are just busy talking about them acquiring vehicles for themselves. They don't want the locally made, they want foreign made. And nobody is mentioning what Nigerians are going. I saw the EFCC, I saw a tweet from them. They were like saying that they've convicted some people from Ilorin, that they'll be serving jail term. Why? Because they are into all this Yahoo Yahoo. I'm trying to see if I'll get that slide. So the law only applies to the poor people, not to the rich people. When the rich steals, they go free. But when the poor man steals, he or she gets to suffer it. Yes, that's the kind of society we have. Because if Nigeria was to be a country that really penalizes these politicians, many of them won't be in office today. Look at this handsome, brave Nigerians. Look at them and see what the kind of business they are doing, the kind of things they are doing. Peter Obi keeps saying that we have the most vibrant, energetic population. How are we helping them? How are we helping these young men? These people you are looking at, some of them might even be graduates. They came out from school, no job. It might shock you to know that some of them may have studied engineering or even some medical courses, but because they can't find job, they will just end up into all this kind of bad, will I call it, lifestyle. Nobody encourages criminality, nobody. But in Nigeria, the government does not care. Your parents will have to sell their land, sell other properties to pay for your school fees. And when you leave school, you have nothing to say, thank you, mommy, thank you, dad. You see some women that are widows, their husbands have died long ago. They will have to sweat to take their children through the university. But at the end of the day, they will have nothing to boast about. Then you ask me, is it even encouraging for people to go to school, especially in an environment like Nigeria? Is it really something you can encourage somebody with what is happening currently in our country? People go to school, they come out, they can't find job. So look at the EFCC saying that, yeah, they have secured conviction, against these people. They will be sentenced. But if you're a politician and you are able to steal, be it the people's mandate, be it the public fund, be it whatever, you find a safe haven to land on. Nothing will happen to you. You will go scot-free. Because tell me why people that aided Abacha shouldn't be suffering for their sin by now. Nigeria is not even halfway where it's supposed to have grown by now. These people looted our money. You can imagine that up to today, Abacha's loot is still being returned to the country. So you just imagine, how much did they even loot? How much was looted? How did they loot it? This is one of the person that fingers are pointing to, that helped him taking away Nigeria's money, the future of the children and our children and our grandchildren. And today they are still in power. They are still the one determining how we live, how we survive, what happens to you, and weakening all our institutions. Like today, Nigerians do not believe anymore in most Nigerians in our judiciary. Look at the INEC chairman came out to talk about the Bayelsa upcoming governorship election. People were like, don't listen. You believe this man to your own risk. You believe anything he's saying, that is your own palaver. Because the trust is no longer there. People do no longer see INEC as an institution that when they say yes, you will know that that yes is a yes. When INEC tells you yes now, people interpret it for a no. And when they say no, you have to check very well. That might be a yes because of what happened during the election. So let me share with you guys what Mr. Peter Obi has said. Don't forget that the former president, Obasanjo, has repeatedly said Peter Obi remains the best for Nigeria at the moment, because we need somebody who will be able to cut costs. We need somebody who will not steal Nigeria's money. Peter Obi boldly told his audience that he had never intentionally done anything wrong. As a human being, you might have that tendency, but if he knows this thing he's doing is wrong, he will never do it. How many of our politicians can boldly speak in such way? How many of them can come out and tell Nigerians, look to their eyes and tell Nigerians that I've never intentionally done anything wrong? He once said it on Arise Television that he has never been involved in any crime. He had never been involved in any crime. So that tells us about the person of Mr. Peter Obi. I know most of us already know him, but I tell you, this man, you cannot compare him with the kind of people we have in politics today. Peter Obi stands out. Let me just allow you listen to what he said about Nigeria and its dwindling economy, because the way things are going, we are like still testing the water, because this is still going to last for the next 3+ years. I mean, this current government. So we just have to brace up, because a lot is still going to happen. A lot is still going to happen. Before I even bring up that video, you know that the NLC chairman was beaten in Imo State. You can see the image on my screen, and they've said that it is the governor of Imo State who sent, and together with the police, I don't know, that connived together. So this is coming from the Nigeria Labour Congress headquarters. This is a tweet they put up, and they said, this man, the heading says, hopeless hope, chief Togri officer of Imo State. So Nigerians, please, just let me ask, how do you feel seeing your leader being addressed this way? This is a sitting governor. This is a sitting governor being addressed by this body, Nigeria Labour Congress. This kind of body is found in all countries of the world. I mean, the labor body, anybody that spearheads the labor force. And they are the ones saying that this is the chief Togri officer of a particular state. I mean, a sitting president. Sorry, sitting governor. A sitting governor. That's to tell you where APC is and what they plan to do in Nigeria. These people don't mean well for us. They don't mean well. They want to get to power at all costs. He has been in this position. He has been a governor for the past close to 4 years now. Go and check Imo State and see if there is anything you can point to. Nothing is happening. Remember when Buhari went there to commission a road that was not completed? We saw people washing road with water. You can imagine. Now he still wants to come back. Then you go to Abia State and see what OT has been able to achieve for just how many months in office. This man is doing something amazing. You need to go to Abia. He is even promising to bring technology to Abia State. Let me tell you, I have a relative who does not live in Nigeria, and he said even if somebody dashes him a land in Aba, that he will never dash. I don't mean to buy. He will never take, because Aba is like a local city. When it rains, you hardly find a path to like walk on. It's always so rough. It's always looking so dirty. But with this current governor under Mr. Oti, go and see the transformation. And you know what is amazing? He's talking of building a seaport, bringing technology that Abia is going to be like a technology hub. I'm like still imagining how that is going to be. As in, for me, as a human being, when I saw it on Twitter, I was like, would this be possible? But I tell you, OT has proven that leadership, good leadership, is not rocket science. You can easily achieve it with the little resources. Abia State is not one of those states that has a lot of money. It's not one of them. But you can see what this man has been able to do with this short time he has spent in office. And we have Mr. Hope Uzodinma, who has booked almost all the hotels in Imo State, meaning if you are a visitor planning to visit Imo during this period of election, you might be stranded because getting a hotel room might be very, very impossible. They went to hotels and tell them, we are going to take all your rooms, no matter the price. Just give us your price. Tell us your price, we are going to pay. That is taxpayers' money being misused. So, Nigerians, this is where we are. When we say let's vote for the right people, people think it's all about being tribalistic, it's all about, being a religious bigot and all that. If we really want Nigeria to work, let's be a bit patriotic and let's call a spade a spade. Let me allow you listen to what Mr. Peter Obi said.
No president you voted for is in the house.
Compare Nigeria with the three biggest countries in Europe. The number one biggest economy in Europe is Germany, followed by the UK, followed by France. These three countries, if you compare them with Nigeria in land size, they are just about 20%, about that, bigger than Nigeria. When you put three of them together, because if you put three of them together today, I know Germany is about 350 something thousand, 357, France at 551,000, and UK at 243,000. If you put the three of them together, you have about 1,152,000 square kilometers. Nigeria is 923,000 square kilometers. So in terms of land size, it's about the same thing. If you talk about your population, UK is about 67 million. France is about 64 million, and Germany is about 84 million. Three of them put together is about 216 million. And Nigeria is about 216 million. Just Nigeria. And I can tell you, we have more resourceful young people because we have more resourceful youth than three of them have. But when you now compare our economy, if you put the economy of the three of them together, Germany with a GDP of 4.4 trillion, UK with a GDP of about 3.3 trillion, and France with about 303 trillion, you're getting over 10 trillion, and we're about 400. So they are 25 times more. Wow. because we have a leadership that where we engulf with waste and consumption, no production. So whenever you're talking about your policy of pulling people out of poverty or creating jobs for those people, it's simple. If you move the country from consumption to production, you create a job for people. It's simple. As long as we live where we get up in the morning, all we are thinking is how to buy this and buy that, consume that and consume that, do this ceremony and do that ceremony, it will not work. Ask somebody at the airport now, I said, I'm going to Benin. He said, so when are you back? I said, I'm back now. Now the flight I'm using to go, I'm using to come back. He said, so, okay, we'll see tomorrow. I said, no. Tomorrow I have an event where I'm going to Anambra State. I'm coming back in the evening. He said, Saturday. He said, Peter, this is not how to live. I said, let me tell you. I lived where people were working the same way. We should stop, think, and that's what you're doing in what he has announced, the round table. So let's be a round table for Nigeria, a round table for everybody. The rest assured, if we get it right, we'll build a better life, and all of us are involved.
Oh my God. Yes, you heard what Mr. Peter Obi said. Nigeria has advantage over so many countries of the world. We have the population, we have a good weather, we have so many things. Look at the natural resources in Nigeria. We have oil, we have gold, and all those stones that are being discovered now in Nigeria, precious stones. But we don't even know, we don't have people that could say, okay, let these youths be engaged with all these privileges that we have in Nigeria. Nobody is there to help our youths to get employment. We have land masses that are not being used, uncultivated. Mr. Peter Obi has always talked about that. But this current government has come in. They are just thinking about SUVs, Prado, some of the names you've not mentioned for years. You are mentioning them now because we have people that just came into power and they felt, oh, let's quickly change our cars. The cars we use for the 10th assembly or for the 9th assembly won't be good for the 10th assembly. Let's quickly, it means that after every election, these people got to change their cars. They told us that the sitting honorables have to go home with the cars that they use. They just have to like make some payments depending on the state of the vehicle. The National Assembly will tell them how much they can balance back, and then they will go home with those vehicles. And I keep asking, for those of them that have been there since 1900, so they've been going home with vehicles every year, and then they will return back to buy a new one. At the end of that tenure, they will go home with it and then come back again to buy a new one. Nigeria, no country survives this way. No country. Up to today, we don't even know how much as the senators earn. We don't know how much the National Assembly members earn. They tell you this today. No, none of them has come out plainly to say, okay, this is how much we earn. None of them. They keep hiding the figures. And when you look at the allowances they even enjoy, that one is even more worrisome. I tell you, the allowances these people enjoy. Nigeria, it will be difficult when they tell you that our National Assembly is the most expensive. I mean, in terms of salary that they receive, it's one of the most expensive in the world, if not the number one. And we have issues with our revenue. We have issues with the money to service our debt. We have issues. We don't have good hospitals. Look at the roads are bad. The schools are bad. The schools are not even working. Nigerians will graduate. You will not be able to compete with people graduating from different countries. You can imagine the challenges. The challenges are much. And the leaders we have people who do not care. This is coming from the president. He said, poverty not a shameful thing. Who said so? Poverty is not a shameful thing. In an environment where you have young men, Nigeria has now overtaken India. Despite the population of India, they've been able to work their way out of poverty. Nigeria is working itself into poverty and even getting deeper into it. Yesterday, I made mention of the children in northern Nigeria going through kwashiorkor, as in they are being malnourished, they are not having no good food, no quality, nobody is really taking care of these kids. And we have families that will just be there giving birth without properly taking care of these children. The government is there, they are not helping. We're told that in Zamfara State for the past 3 years, the government has not paid for WAEC for the students, because it appears in the north, possibly the state government does that for the students. But for the fact that they've not paid for the past 3 years, we have a group of young boys and young girls who will not be able to never find themselves again in the universities because they never wrote WAEC, neither did they write JAM. So this is where we are as a country. And some of them tomorrow now, they might join banditry. The women might just be there, giving birth to children and not being productive, not adding their quota to the economy because somebody didn't guide them aright. So there are a lot to talk about Nigeria when it comes to what is happening in the country. So if the president is saying that poverty is not a shameful thing, I don't think that is really true. Nobody wants to be poor, especially in today's world. Everybody wants to, at least, even if you are not rich, that's, that kind of riches that people acquired anyhow. People want to be comfortable in life. People want to graduate from school and have job. People want to at least see that they are not in the same state they met their parents. When you go to school, you graduate to be able to contribute your own quota to your own family and make life a little bit better. That's what Nigerians are asking for. We are not even asking for much. And yes, this government is not listening to the plight of the people. I think that's just my own take. Like I shared with you guys, you can see these young Nigerians going into all these fraudulent businesses that they do online, which is not recommended. Nobody will encourage anybody to go into all this. Some of them have their excuses. They will tell you they are looking for money to eat. They are looking for this. They are looking for that. But my only concern is that why is it that the EFCC will be in a hurry to secure conviction on these people, and we have our politicians going scot-free? Yesterday or day before yesterday, we talked about Zamfara State. A commissioner, I think one of the commissioners was talking about what the past administration, how they managed the affairs of the state, how, they just messed up the state. I mean, Zamfara. He said so many things about the state, how they don't even have good hospitals. They have nothing to boast of. And this same person who left there as the governor is the current minister for defense. So how do you, like, Nigerians, how do you equate these things? Somebody performed badly. Now you rewarded him for his bad performance by giving him even a more bigger position. For him to be the Minister of Defense, my dear, that is not a small post. That's not a small position. But that is where he is today. And he was meant to be investigated by the EFCC before Bawa was taken in by the DSS. So possibly that investigation might not hold again. Yeah, that is where we are in Nigeria, and we just hope for a better country, because with what is going on now, we can't say we have a country. No, we don't have a country. This is not a country. This is not what Nigerians wanted. And that's why we came out en masse to ensure we get leaders who understand the plight of the Nigerian people and who also want to make life better for us. So guys, this is where we are going to be ending it tonight. I felt I should share this with you just for you to know that the person who aided Abacha loot is also going to be the one to help in receiving the loot, because France is ready to give us some good money at the moment, if only this government is going to that money judiciously. I think it's going to be to the benefit of the Nigerian people. But if they still do it the way that Buhari did his own, we saw it that we got so many funds, as in so many Abacha loots were returned to Nigeria. But we can't really point to one or two projects that they were used for. There was Malami was the minister for justice then. And there were a lot of things that went on that period. So one cannot really say, okay, this is what some of the Abacha loots that have been returned to Nigeria, these were the things, the projects they were used for. We can't really point to anything. So I'm just looking forward to seeing this government using another approach. When this money is being sent back to Nigeria, tell Nigerians that this is what you want to use that, even if it's just to build one world-class hospital for us. I think that would be good. We have so many people going through ailments that can't be diagnosed in Nigeria. You have to go to India or to some other countries around Africa in case you can't really come to Europe for you to go and diagnose one ailment that wouldn't have taken you anything to diagnose, should we have a good hospital. So we look forward to this government doing the needful. The image you are looking at now is that of Wike and the governor of Rivers State. So yes, things are not really looking well, in their relationship. Wike wants to be the FCT minister and equally wants to be in charge of the state. He said this man cannot come to dismantle the structure that he built. So one keeps wondering, when you leave office, so you are still going to be looking back to see how your structures are being managed, the structure you claim you built during your term. So that's what he's trying to say, that he has built a structure and he won't allow the sitting governor to destroy his structure for him. And recently we're told that I think the policeman that worked with him, I think one of his pals are being sent back to Rivers State to be the one maybe to foresee the police authority. So all these things are moved to ensure that in ensuring that the governor is impeached. So we are going to be seeing how all that play out, but I just hope that Wike thinks twice and sees the need to douse tension. So I'll be ending it at this point. I want to say thank you for those of you that joined me. Dr. Tell wasn't able to make it today. He'll be here tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. So thank you very much. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to more people, and also subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. When you click the notification bell, it gives you option, you choose the all. That is the first one, so that you see all our updates. So with this, I want to say a very big thank you for joining me tonight. See you again tomorrow. Good night and bye.